podcast episode is brought to you by Alpha Affiliates. Alpha Affiliates are an industry-leading iGaming advertiser with a portfolio of 13 diverse and unique brands for affiliates to promote. Since its launch in 2012, Alpha Affiliates has continued to expand into new markets, working with over 15,000 affiliate partners across 38 countries worldwide. Alpha Affiliates is on a mission to become a world-leading affiliate program. Join their affiliate program and earn up to 50% revenue share commission today. Turn your marketing expertise into profit at alpha-affiliates.com.
You're listening to the Affiliate Marketing Podcast, brought to you by Affyversemedia.com, the chapter and verse of everything you need to know about running a successful affiliate program for your business. This is a podcast for digital and affiliate marketers, publishers, networks, agencies, and MarTech providers who operate, support, or manage affiliate marketing programs around the globe. If you want to launch, scale, and grow a successful affiliate marketing program, you're in the right place. In this podcast, you'll learn how affiliate and partner marketing is constantly changing, and tune in to industry experts who are getting behind our mic to share tactical insights and practical knowledge to help your affiliate program grow. Here, you'll discover what's new and trending in affiliate and performance marketing, how to run your affiliate program successfully, and gain industry insights from experts and practitioners from around the globe. The truth is, you simply won't find this information anywhere else. Now here's your award-winning affiliate and performance marketing host, an industry veteran, your affiliate marketing guide, and the founder of Affyverse, Leanne Johnston.
Welcome to this week's Affiliate Marketing Podcast with me, Leanne Johnston. And today I'm absolutely thrilled to have somebody. I'm actually going to call you an OG because that's what you are in the affiliate marketing industry. Wade Tonkin from Fanatics, who's joining us today to talk about unlocking new traffic sources in 2024. And he's going to give us this ultimate how-to guide in terms of how to grow your already established affiliate business as part of the theme of this week's podcast. So Wade, absolute pleasure to have you on this side of the mic. I have been waiting for you to join me.
Thanks for having me. I'm looking forward to it as well. We had a lot of good chats in London at PI Live, and it'll be a lot of fun to kind of follow up on what we did at the roundtable stuff at AM Leaders and hopefully expand that out a little bit.
Absolutely. So you've been in the industry a long time. For those of you tuning into this podcast today and maybe don't know who Wade is in the industry, give us a little bit of your backstory, Wade, how you joined the world of affiliate marketing and how you've grown nothing short of a behemoth affiliate program in Fanatics.
The cool thing about affiliate marketing is I don't think anybody ever set out to become an affiliate marketer. And so the stories of how people got into it are so totally diverse. I got into it because I used to do booking and promotions for punk bands. I used to manage bands and promote shows. And one of the guys that I worked with, one of the bands that I managed, was a webmaster at a software company in Seattle. And I was managing a Domino's Pizza at the time, and he got me an interview to be a kind of a guerrilla marketer for a software company. And my job at that point was soliciting backlinks. So kind of doing affiliate, but not having any money to give people because we were like a little software company that did telnet servers and terminal servers and email servers for Windows NT back in the day. I was pretty good at that. I went down and interviewed. It was funny. I had some serious imposter syndrome. I didn't know how I was going to fit into that world. So I don't have a college degree. I'm a guerrilla marketer, kind of raised a sales guy in a sales family, and I started doing the backlink solicitation. Ended up being the channel manager there because we went through a couple people, and I ended up working with Digital River, who circled back a few years down the road, ended up working with them again. But yeah, and then I had a friend whose dad fired up a startup in the gardening space back in my hometown. And so my buddy started calling around all his friends from school who he knew were working in the tech space. And my first challenge from him was, we want to launch an affiliate program. So you need to figure out what the hell that means, pick a vendor, launch it. And so that was my first affiliate gig, figuring out how to launch a program. So that site was called eterra.com. This is back in like May of 1999, I think. Mm-hmm. And so I'm like late first wave getting into the space. And there's a few people, Joe that works for me, has been around doing a couple of years longer. Todd and Pear from Impact have been around a little bit longer. It's been a really killer run and I've had a lot of fun with it. But my first vendor we picked was Linkshare, because at that point it was Linkshare, BeFree, and CJ.
I remember that.
And BeFree had like the installable disk and everything. So I never ran one on BeFree, but I've run on pretty much all the other platforms. And did that for a bit, got that figured out, and was doing great until the company went under, because a lot of other companies we kind of dot bombed out, spent a lot of money, and then turns out we weren't spending it paying my vendors, we're paying my affiliates. There came a point when people started saying, hey, where am I going to get paid? And I was like, you're not getting paid? Okay, that's not great. And then my vendor, Linkshare, was like, yeah, we're not getting paid. And so started consulting from there. Once that went away, did that for a little bit, just working with kind of local companies and trying to keep the bills paid. And then I ran into the crew from Cowabunga Technologies, Todd Farmer, Linda Woods, the affiliate goddess. We bumped into each other online. We ended up pitching Cowabunga to start a managed services group and launched that. And we actually launched that project on one of the predecessors to Affiliate Summit.
Yeah.
There's a group called Affiliate Force. And at the time, I was pretty much unemployed. I was flat broke. And we came up with this idea. I asked Todd to get me out to the cruise, knowing that if I could get there, I could sell myself into the gig. And so we ended up doing that. Originally he's like, I'll pay for the cruise. I'm like, nah, dude, I got no money. I can't get there. So get me there and I'll make it worth your while. And we ended up, selling enough customers on that cruise to kind of make the project work. And I was the kind of lead affiliate manager there to start with. Did that for a bit. And in the end, I've done a little bit of everything on the kind of brand side. I've done like 5 years of agency stuff, quite a bit of brand side, a little bit of network side, but and a lot of consulting. So it's been a cool run, and it's 25 plus years. At this point, I can't imagine doing anything different because I'm having too much fun. And I love this space.
And that's why I love asking everybody that comes on this podcast that question to begin with, because absolutely everybody has got a different story about how they fell in. Now, it's interesting to me that you come from the sales side, because most people either come in through kind of media buying, or they come in through customer support if they really know their product well, and then they somehow transition into marketing. And it's always into the affiliate team to start with. And then there's also the people that come in with the business development and sales background. And the great thing about this industry is that you can have all of those skill sets, or you can have only one, and you will still be able to hack it as a really good affiliate manager, because everything else that you're learning is on the job, right? So 25 years in, you're still learning, you're still loving it, you're still, learning new channels, new ways to grow programs, et cetera, et cetera. And that's really why we wanted to bring you on this week, because this week's theme is all about the ultimate how-to guide on how to grow your affiliate business. And working at Fanatics for so long, it's a behemoth of a program. It's in how many countries all around the world? Give us a bit of a spec about that.
Yeah. And when I started at Fanatics, it's just over 13 years now. When I started, it was about, I think I was managing 3 or 4 brands. I was pretty much on my own. I think we did $6 million total revenue the first year. And then this year, we're on pace for well over 100 million in revenue. We managed, I think, 36 different campaigns. A lot of them are multinational. We've got 5 people working for me on the team here at Fanatics that are scattered all over the US, and one in the UK, one in Australia. A couple agency relationships that we manage as well. So it's definitely been kind of a really crazy growth thing. And Fanatics has been interesting because I joined the company about 3 weeks before Michael Rubin bought the company when he still owned GSI. And he's been an absolute force of nature running the company. And I can remember meeting him when the purchase came through. He had a conversation with everybody in our warehouse that we were just in the process of moving out of. And one of the things that he said that was really interesting to me is finishing second is not emotionally stimulating. I don't like to lose. I like to win at everything I do. And so that's something that I think is definitely pretty evident if you watch it, how the company has grown and kind of everything that we're up to. And it's definitely been interesting as we've really watched it take off, because a lot of, when we used to do recruiting calls and pitches, we first started when we were Football Fanatics, we were kind of a small regional brand. A lot of time was spent kind of establishing who we were and what we did, and the fact that we could be trusted, because if you weren't in the Southeast of the United States, chances are you hadn't really heard of us all that much. And there was definitely some sales effort involved in getting in the door with partners. Now it's a totally different thing, because especially in the US, we're a monster, and people know who we are. And so in a lot of cases now we reach out, whether it's through Fanatics or one of our brands, one of our league brands or something like that, and say, hey, we want to work with you. And it's, oh, cool. What do we do? The recruiting has gotten, the actual getting in the door has gotten easier, but internationally, a different deal. Internationally is still like 6-7 years ago, where, in the UK, we're not a household brand. In Germany, France, Italy, Spain, Italy, we're not where we are here. We're going to get there, but it's we're different in that the way that we brand ourselves isn't through massive brand spend, like a lot of internet companies do, where they'll spend a ton of money on, borderline stupid ads in some cases to brand themselves up and become a household name. A lot of what we do through partnerships. So we will be a partner with a league, and the store is a Fanatics experience, or PSG, where we run the store for them, and their store is a Fanatics experience. And now we're starting to do a lot of in-venue partnerships as well. Like when the NFL was playing in Wembley Stadium, for instance, Fanatics handled the in-venue retail. So Fanatics actually had branding on the pop-up stores that were selling the merchandise for NFL games. And so a lot of what we're doing now is trying to push that brand forward by virtue of the partnership versus by a lot of spend. And the one thing I've definitely noticed is as the brand comes up, the affiliate program can definitely cash in on that brand notoriety, because it definitely helps for people to have seen you in other places and know that brand.
So I want to stop you there, because a couple of questions that came up out of all of that is growing a program from 0 to 6 million takes a certain set of skills. And then taking that program from 6 to 100 million plus, international, global, teams all around the world, is a different set of skills. Now, sometimes I speak to clients and they go, well, we're already working with all of the affiliates. Like, I cannot tell you how many times I've had that conversation. Explain how you get from 6 million to 100 million by finding new traffic sources, and where do you look? And you've mentioned one of them. We're kind of looking at brand-to-brand partnerships and actually leveraging affiliates in other programs that are complementary to yours. You've spoken about offline to online and how you can leverage that in a performance-based channel. But where the heck do you find traffic from to go from 6 million to 100 million affiliate? Because that's really the kind of ultimate how-to guide of how to grow your affiliate business, and where I want to get into the nuts and bolts.
I think that there's a couple of directions we can go with that. I think one of them is scaling up the approach with technology and being able to get into additional resources and being able to use different tech tools to be able to identify potential partners at scale. So if you're using a tool like in Publisher Discovery, or we use Media Rails, or the internal tools within your platform, because Impact's got really good prospecting stuff now, figuring out how you can do more than just go out and look for people one by one on Google and be able to reach out to them, versus taking it to the system identified, we put a big net out there, and today the system identified 30 people that we should be talking to. Taking that mindset from, I'm going to do this one by one, being very, very targeted to how can we make this programmatic? How can we reach out to a lot of people across a bunch of different topics and do that effectively at scale? That's a piece of it for sure. The other piece that I would say is that as the profile of the program grows, you can definitely get yourself into bigger relationships and bigger partners, bigger potential partners that can move the needle a lot further. We'll be willing to have that conversation, because we've been doing, for instance, we talk about, kind of traditional media. So newspapers, TV stations, radio stations, old school media. I think we're a relative pioneer in working with partners like that, just because by virtue of what we do in the sports world, one of the things we identified pretty early on, even before I got to Fanatics, was, hey, newspapers do coverage of local sports. So they've got access to sports fans. So that would be a pretty cool type of partner to have in the bag. When I came to Fanatics, we already had a few of those partnerships, but we've really ramped up going after those. And we've taken it from, going after individual local newspapers to, hey, what if we could talk to a newspaper group and do the deal at the high level, and then do a deal so that one person is overseeing that whole relationship, and then they take care of all the working with the locals for me. And so it's gone from having 3 or 4 independent relationships that were with big publishers to, well, who owns those guys? Who owns that group? Starting
with the customer and actually working backwards from there within. So as you were talking, I was just writing down 4 key steps. So the first one is automations, getting the right tools in place to actually give you the data to tell you who to go after. And we've got lots of tools in the industry. You mentioned a few. SEMrush, SimilarWeb, DeepCI, Publisher Discovery. There are so many tools out there, and we're not affiliating to any of those, but go and have a look around in your industry and look at what data analysis tools exist and get that automation into your affiliate program. The second thing you said is brand investment, which I think is something that affiliate managers forget about, where, as you said, your brand expanded and grew and became a household name, so the affiliates were attracted to you. Now, we all spend our time in that churn and burn of outreach to try and bring partners in. But actually, if we spend half of our time on the direct outreach and half of our time marketing our program to mass in terms of doubling down and investing into the brand, that's an organic way to actually grow your affiliate program from the $6 to $100 million by looking at events, looking at content marketing around things that you're doing that are interesting, partnering with local newspapers and, other offline places that can help you expand your brand reach and actually talk to the customer and figuring out where the customer is, and then partnering in the ecosystem of where the customer hangs out in. The other thing that I was thinking about when you were talking about that was really like connections and ecosystems. And you kind of mentioned that a little bit earlier in terms of brand to brand partnerships. But I'm even thinking, if your customers in the sports world, they like merchandise, they like clubs, they like communities, they like certain publications that they're reading. And you can leverage your affiliate program brand to actually go into all of those communities at a base, at a grassroots level, to be where your customer is and to bring those partners in as affiliates as well. Because too much in the sports industry, to be honest, people think affiliate is just an SEO or a PPC or an email marketer, and we really like to get from that 6 million to 100 million. You got to think outside the box, right?
Yeah, absolutely. I think one of the traps that people fall into is that they think about the obvious stuff. So, if I have a sports brand, I need to be working with sites or content creators that are just talking about that sport or that team. But there's people that buy for people that are fans of that sport or that team.
True.
And so you kind of have to push outside of that, or there's other things you could leverage around fundraising. People that play youth sports. One of the things that the sad reality, especially in the US, I'm not sure what the issue is everywhere else in the world, but in the US, the cost of youth sports is ridiculous. So there's a lot of providers out there that help teams with fundraising. And so if one of the groups that we've seen be pretty successful, we've got a couple of partners now that provide platforms that help teams and youth athletes fundraise. And one of the things that people like to buy to support them is sports gear or fan gear. In a lot of cases, the youth teams will be wearing uniforms that have the logos of existing pro teams. And so their fans and their parents like to wear that gear as well. So it's like, oh, hey, I can buy this and I can be supporting the team in the process. And so it's really kind of thinking all about, number one, where is my actual, where's my fan? And then where are the people who buy it, who shop for them? And when a lot of people think about Fanatics, they're like, oh, it's a sports site. It's got your demo has to be 80% male, but it's not. It's almost a straight 50-50 because we've got people who buy for themselves and we've got people who buy for everybody else. And there's kind of a balancing act because you've got to be able to speak to the fans themselves and the people that shop for them and make it easy for them to find stuff for the people that they're going to buy for. And, we've seen that in a lot of cases, that's women. But at the same time, we've also got a lot of women that are really hardcore sports fans. And so over the past few years, we've really been trying to elevate the level of fan gear for women. So because they used to have this shrink it and pink it concept where make it small, make it pink. And that doesn't really play with people that are real sports fans because you want to wear your team colors. You just want to have something that looks good on you that you can wear to a tailgate or you can wear to a match or whatever. And that's a bit of a fun growth area for us is being like, okay, cool, let's go out and chase this audience that we were previously overlooking. But to be able to do that, you've got to make sure that your product offering is speaking to that audience, that you've got all sizes supported. You've got to have the right teams that are in the mix. And, one of the things that I think gets overlooked a lot when people think about, let's take an affiliate program from small to large. We talked about recruiting, but the problem is if you recruit and you don't have onboarding squared away, you're really just creating a bunch of inactive affiliates.
And it's your system, your process. So in order to do that scale, you need to have systems, process, onboarding, tools to help your partners get up. Because as you're topping more people up in the top of the funnel, so the workload below that to actually get these guys active becomes a problem too. It's not just about finding the traffic, but it's about building the systems in the background to actually support all of that traffic coming in. And there was something else that you mentioned there as well. In the growth phase, if we go back to what you said about automation, you spoke about investing in your brand and doubling down on your brand in order to attract affiliates to you. You spoke about all the peripheral ecosystems that you can go and still reach your customer in through different kinds of partnerships. You spoke about niching and segmenting. So in your case, there was your target audience is, males between the age of 18 and 45, but actually there's a whole segment of females over here that are also hardcore sports fans. And how do you actually find partners that target those niches? So the niches and the riches kind of thing. But as you were talking, I was thinking there's actually another one. There's, looking across multiple platforms. So we've got TikTok, we've got Meta, we've got Instagram, we've got X, as they like to be called, like all of these new platforms and even audio platforms, podcasts. I mean, advertising is off the charts at the moment in terms of conversion rate. Like when you hear something, you're on your phone, you already have the device in your hand, you can go and quickly check something out and purchase within a matter of seconds if you've got your payments and infrastructure put in place. So actually looking at all of the partners that are in that kind of tech category, which you mentioned as well. On the flip side of this, though, that's like there's 5 key areas where you can take your program from like hero to superhero just by looking at those key segments. How do you get your team to remain on track with that? Because sometimes when you're in the daily grind and you're in the hustle, how do you get your team motivated to look for growth? How do you get them to stay on track, thinking out of the box as a mentor, as a leader?
Yeah, I mean, I think you've got to challenge people, and I think you've got to make it fun and rewarding to do that. And one of the things that I try to do is to try to take the experience that the team has and leverage that experience. So if I've got people that, I have a couple of people on my team that came out of the buying department, fashion and merchandising, and that's where they came from. And so they do a really good job with being able to identify players that kind of vibe with that. Obviously, I want them to understand kind of everything about every other part of the business, but if there's something that makes them tick personally, I want to give them that, empower them, let them run with it, challenge them to kind of build that out and make that into something more interesting and meaningful. And I think that for all of us, trying to keep up with all these platforms will definitely stretch you, because one thing that I think is super interesting and I've always enjoyed about affiliate is that there's always something new coming up. There's a lot of very smart people that are looking to make money. I'm always looking out to see what the next platform coming is. I'm always looking into kind of the peripheral areas of affiliate, because like adult and gambling is where all the innovation comes from, and because that's where the money is. That's where the huge cash is. You keep an eye on some of that stuff to see what people are up to, because a lot of the emerging technologies, people are going to rush to that stuff. They're going to figure out how to make money with it, and then everybody else catches on a little bit later. But if we can get ourselves out ahead of that, so that we can at least see it coming, because none of that. Also, one thing to remember is that none of that stuff is free. It's that free gold rush thing has happened. I mean, I don't know how many times in the last 25 years where first it was easy Google SEO with exact match domains, and you can ask Joe and my team about that. He used to have a ton of sites that ranked really well, and now he's managing affiliate programs because Google took all that away. MySpace, free traffic on Facebook. And so when people are thinking about, hey, this platform is up and coming, I can get free traffic there, that's great, until they decide they want to make money too. And then it becomes more of an arbitrage play. And so people have to be ready to step into that if that's what they're going to do. But there's always going to be new things popping up. And one of the things that we see is pretty interesting over the last year or so, especially, is that we're seeing a lot of people that are working on streaming platforms and Discord and things like that, where, in the end, it's all about connecting communities. And where you've got somebody that's building communities, there's somebody there that, if they choose to, they can monetize that with, hopefully they're doing it ethically.
It's chasing the first party data now. It's not just about traffic arbitrage like it has been in the past. It's now about doubling down and finding those partners that are building communities, building fan bases, building, in community-based marketing, like where they have something, a brand, a service, a concept, whatever it is, a product that they're offering to their customers as a value add.
Yeah. And still, to me, in a lot of cases, it still boils down to solving problems for people or answering questions for people.
Totally
because we've got some great partners they're just out on these platforms watching the questions people are asking and answering them, and including affiliate links and disclosing. It's not rocket science at all. And it's funny because we had one affiliate that just drove his millionth dollar in sales. And he's a guy that works on X on Twitter. And it was funny because, we kind of gave him a shout out in our Facebook group for affiliates and, hey, congrats on hitting your $1 million in revenue driven. And his thing was like, I'm already trying to figure out how to drive 2 and 3.
That's the beauty of working with affiliates.
But everybody was asking, what do you do? And I'm like, dude, I don't know if I would give him all the secret sauce, but he's like, I answer questions. I solve problems. People are trying to find something. What's the best place to find this? And I'll jump in and help out with that. I've definitely worked out some methodologies. That's cool. I mean, that guy is figured out something that works for him. And that, to me, is what's always been exciting about affiliates. You got extremely smart people that will figure out how to leverage technology to go out and answer some kind of a need. But and people can do that across a bunch of different platforms. So they can build their own, there's just always some kind of cool innovation going on that you can tap into if you're willing to keep your eyes open to it. And, one of the things that you mentioned you wanted to get to was mistakes I've made in the business.
Do you know why I ask that question though? It's because a lot of the younger affiliate managers that are coming into the industry that are talking to me at events and reaching out to me, they don't want to make mistakes. They want to try and learn from us. But actually, we only learned by making mistakes. So I kind of want to ask all the people that have been in the industry for 20 plus some years, like, tell us a little bit about your learning journey and what the mistakes were that you made, because we can all learn from those, you know?
Yeah, I think my biggie, honestly, is it's thinking that I really understood getting opinions that were too hard set about different types of partners. I mean, and like, for an example, we used to be really dead set against working through subnetworks. We were big kind of control freaks. We wanted to work with people independently, and it frustrated me to no end that, we would go out and reach out to somebody that was running like a discussion, old school discussion board on a topic that was super key for us. And those are fantastic partners, by the way. If you can get to those, people still use them. They're still trusted. They can still absolutely kick ass if you've got kind of a niche product or service. But we were just diehard against letting go of that control. And we always thought that, these guys weren't really managing, to your requirements. And then we started to look around and see the types of partners who are working through there. And we were finding that like massive media partners were working through like Skimlinks or BigLink or YieldKit or whatever. And so it's more about making sure that you have a good relationship and they understand your expectations. Maybe sometimes you might have to pay a little bit more into it than you're hoping to be able to get that kind of premium level of support. But in the end, once you get that relationship dialed in, it can be pretty amazing. But we thought we knew what we knew until we actually looked into it. Another one was making decisions that weren't data-driven. We looked at all coupon sites and cashback sites the same. We all thought they're all low value, all low incrementality. Not necessarily the truth. I mean, you really have to look at them case by case, look at the data, look at the backend data and see what do the metrics actually look like? What kind of new customer volume are they driving? What's their actual first click, last click, same session? Where do they play in the click funnel before you make that judgment? Because one might be totally different from another. And in a lot of cases, it's a matter of, what they're willing to do. It's a matter of what they're willing to do. And can you get them to do things that are more incremental, that are more upper funnel, versus looking at them all and saying, hey, this is minimal, this is shit quality traffic, I'm going to pay it nothing, or I'm not going to work with them at all. Because in the end, one thing we picked up, we were hanging out with a lot of other affiliate managers, and I think we were talking with the Uber guys at one point back years ago at an event, and they were like, everybody's got some value. It's just a matter of whether they're willing to work for it.
Everybody's got value, but they've also got value at a time and a place that suits you. And I love the fact that you brought up networks, because it is something that I get asked a lot as well. And I really believe that you should work with networks, but you should plug the tools in to help you strip out any like dangerous traffic sources or fraudulent traffic sources. Because anywhere you go on the interweb, doesn't matter where you are, you're going to get cheaters. Like if you follow the money, you're always going to get cheaters. What you have to do is create the situation where it's a safe environment to test this traffic source. You need to limit the money that you put into that place to test it. You need to look at the data, like you said, in terms of figuring out, does this go a little bit more upper funnel? Or does it actually just need to be leveraged at a certain time of year when we have this kind of promotion? There's a time and a place for every kind of partner. And I think we've learned that over the years because we've been in the industry so long and we've tried so many things and we've seen some of these things actually work. But getting it to work for you is the bit that is the hard bit that the affiliate manager has to take onus for.
Yeah, and it might be that a coupon site, when you take a look at things, it only makes sense if you're paying them like 0.5%. So one thing we looked at, we took a look at coupon sites, cashback sites, bloggers, creators, all that, and we saw some really interesting things in that. When we were looking at if we looked at like first click, last click, same session on Omniture back when we were using Omniture, we were looking at kind of average, like top end coupon sites. They were the ones that were the only one involved in the transaction, maybe 12, 13% of the time.
Yeah.
So when we looked at that, we're like, that's pretty bad. Then we took a look at how many other channel touches they had. And we're like, you know what, if we're paying these guys more than 2-3%, we're actually losing money. We're not making anything on the transaction. So we came out and said, look, this is what we're going to pay. And a lot of them pushed back and we're like, the metrics say that's what it's worth. However, you can change that if you want to do something different, if you just want to do more than just arbitraging on our keywords or whatever, or SEO optimizing on our keywords, if you want to send an email, if you want to do a mobile push or something like that, I can pay you like a content affiliate if you behave like a content affiliate.
Yeah.
Yeah, if you're going to sit at the bottom of the funnel, this is what you got. So make your decision. What do you want to do? And then we looked at cashback sites. Cashback sites were a little bit further up. I mean, they were kind of in the middle. So maybe 30 to 40%. And so there was a lot more discovery going on there, which is kind of, what I was looking for. Because if you look at the way that our site works, our site is very intense on pushing the site offer.
Yeah.
We have engineered the site to try to make sure that people aren't going to go and bounce off to RetailMeNot or whatever other voucher site you want to talk about. But, so there's, we've minimized the value of that. And we've seen over the years, the more we got into that, the less people were going out to look. And so that value of coupon sites was minimized unless they were going to do something different. As of yet, not many of them have stepped up into, hey, I want to do something different, because they got enough other people that are going to, continue to pay them for what they do.
But that hasn't hindered your growth, though. I mean, that's the important thing, is that you've decided that this is what you can afford to pay for that kind of traffic source. You've gone to the partner and had a legitimate data-led conversation. The partner's gone, thanks, but no thanks. And you've carried on and moved on with other partners and communities and offline partners, and it hasn't slowed the growth of your program. So I just want to sum up quickly, because as you've been talking, I've been writing down almost like the 10-step guide of how to grow your affiliate program and take it from like where it is now to superhero status. And I just want to read this back to you and tell me if you agree. You need to get the right automation. So you need to get the right tools to help you to find the information and the data that you want. You need to double down on brand investment for your program so that you attract partners to you. You need to look at connections and ecosystems that will get you in front of your target customer and find out who those partners are within those subsidiary ecosystems so that you can leverage their traffic sources to actually get in front of the right customers. You need to go cross-platform. Like you just said, you've got a huge affiliate in X, but you've also got probably loads of SEO bloggers and, PPC affiliates that are bringing you traffic. You need to be segmenting your customers and understanding the niches. And that was where you were talking about, you've got all of these sports fans, but actually, hey, there's a whole segment of females that are hardcore sports fans too. And what do we need to get them? How do we need to reach them and get in front of them? You need to be looking ahead at other peripheral trends and outside of your own industry. And you mentioned looking at gambling and, adult and all of those other industries, not to compare, but to just look at what other technologies and tools and strategies they're doing that you can bring back into your own business. You need to solve problems. Your most successful affiliate that drafted the most revenue, all he did was answer questions. So if you can solve problems for your affiliates and for your partners, whether they're online, offline, whatever it is, but if you can find a way to solve their problems and convert their customers and make them earn revenue, your program's naturally going to grow. You then said number 8 is don't discount or ignore any type of traffic. Look at how that traffic works for you. So cashback, loyalty, whatever it is. Don't say, I'm not going to work with networks. Find the right way to work with those networks. Then you said, find people that are building first-party data and community marketers and find out how you can leverage those into your business and create things and often, campaigns that speak to those people in their community, streamers, whatever it is. And then point number 10, which is the last point that you've just given us, is let data be your guide. Let data be the guide on who and where and how you spend your budget to leverage that growth. Honestly, I think that's like gold. It's like 10 clear, actionable steps that people can take away from this podcast this week and go and look at how they can grow their affiliate programs, just like you've done from the 6 million to the 100+ million or whatever it's going to end up this year, probably more than that if you keep implementing these strategies. But the one thing that I wanted to ask you before I let you go is, can you give one piece of advice to affiliate managers that are listening into this podcast today that they can take forward with them into 2024, whether that's a strategy, a tactic, a trend to go and look for, or even a place to go and read information or gather insights? What one piece of advice can you give to the guys tuning in?
Remain eternally curious. Read everything you can on the space. There's a lot of awesome thought leaders out there right now that are putting good stuff out. The stuff that you're doing, there's stuff around with the different conferences that are going on. There's a lot of people that are putting up really good content, and just expose yourself to other ways of thinking. Because like I said, I used to be very hard set in a bunch of different areas at the way that I looked at things. And then through working in mastermind groups and things like that, we had other people that would challenge me and say, hey, if you looked at it this way, because you might be wrong. There might be something else going on here that you haven't thought of. And it's like the moment that you think you've got everything figured out, you're absolutely screwed. I mean, it's just, that's when your growth ends, because you've always got to be challenging what you believe and finding ways to think around problems. And I think one thing that's been really interesting for us, this year has been a really tricky year for retail businesses.
All businesses, doesn't matter what industry you're in.
Yeah, for all businesses. But, it's been a really tricky year. And the one thing that brings up for the affiliate space is opportunity, because one thing that's cool about us, that if we can do the right job of selling the C-suite on what we're doing and how efficient we are, how efficient we can be, affiliate is a channel or a traffic driving mechanism or a payment mechanism or whatever you want to call it. Everybody wants to debate that. But, it's because of the fact that everything we're doing is performance driven, it can be one that gets relied on in tough times. We should be the ones that don't have to worry about stuff when things slow down, because in reality, companies should be taking a look at the other channels that are just buying traffic that aren't buying sales. They should be looking at those outcomes. They should be saying, look, we want to invest more heavily in affiliate right now. Maybe this segment of keywords isn't efficient for us to do. Maybe we want to find affiliates that can do that. Or maybe we want to have affiliates get involved in more CSS and more shopping engine stuff because they're more efficient. And I've been really blessed the last 10 years now, working for really, really smart people at Fanatics that are very data-driven, that have encouraged me to become more data-driven in what I do. And, and it's funny, we talked about, affiliates that are abusive and, people that are fraudulent. And my CMO was running eBay when eBay got scammed for $26 million. And, people went to prison for that, years ago. And when we first met him, Joe and I came up and were like, you were running eBay when they got cons for like 26 million commissions, right? And he's like, I was really hoping there was nobody old school here enough to remember that. Yeah. And we're like, oh, we're nothing if we're not old school, and you're not going to let that happen to me, right? And we're like, no, absolutely not.
But that's how we've all learned.
It's one of those things where there's so much opportunity and, but I think it's very challenging in a lot of cases because there's not many people in the C-suite that came out of affiliate. And so it's, there's really, if you do the education, if you come to them with the numbers and show them where the incrementality is, hopefully you're working either with a network or a tracking platform that takes all of the other channel traffic into account. Because we have impact set up so that it's tracking all those touches. But, there's still a lot of misconceptions out there about our channel. And if you can have those data-led conversations and establish the value of the channel, you can get to where, the affiliate gets to lean in when everybody else is pulling out. And we did that a couple of years ago where, when the first, big COVID year, we were up like 60% year over year, because in the end, they were backing other channels out because there's a lot of other uncertainty. And so, they were backing out paid search and going bare minimum. And they're just like, you guys go get the money because it's efficient. It's cheap. Go get it. And so we went out and just straight crushed it. And, it was a lot of fun to be kind of given free rein when everybody else was getting pulled back, because they knew that, that we were running things right, that we were looking at the right things to determine whether the value was there. And then we just put the pedal to the floor and went out and got it. And, even moving into next year, I think we're going to be in the same situation. I think it's going to be like, hey, as long as you guys think, can drive the revenue incrementally and keep that efficiency there, go get it. And, if we have to adjust to other groups, we'll do that. But it's really exciting when you can get to the point where you've been running things right, you think you're asking the right questions, you're supporting things with data, and you get the trust to go out there and charge forward. Because I will say, I think we've got more buy-in that a lot of people get on the affiliate from big brands. And I think a lot of that is because I don't think we're running a traditional big brand affiliate program, because I think when I think of a lot of big brand programs, I think of, a lot of coupon, a lot of cash back, a lot of big corporate stuff. That stuff's there in our program, but we have consciously decided that we are not going to rely on that. We're going to go out and we're going to find the content guys. We're going to find the creators. We're going to find the upper funnel stuff. And we've managed to take, I think like 6 or 7 years ago, I think we were about 80% coupon cash back. Now we're about 45, which I think is a hell of a lot healthier.
Let's add another 2 points to your 10-point guide on how to grow a successful affiliate program. Let's talk about owning the channel and really making the rest of your business understand. And let's talk about partner segmentation, getting really clear on being too heavily reliant on types of partners that are easy to maybe bring in. And on that note, I want to wrap up this podcast because it has been an absolute pleasure to have you here with us. Thank you for sharing all of these points and these tips for the guys that are tuning into this podcast to learn how to run their affiliate programs better. They can only learn this from people like you that have been in the industry for iterations and cycles of different types of periods during the affiliate kind of marketing story from beginning till now. And it's really a pleasure for me to host you and have you share this kind of information, because it isn't written down in textbooks and you can't learn it at university. So Thank you so much for being on the podcast with me today to share your insights on how to take a program and grow it even bigger. It has been a pleasure to host you.
Thanks for having me.
Want to amplify your affiliate program performance? The Amplify Summit is the only affiliate marketing event you need to attend to stay ahead of affiliate trends in 2024. You'll get no sales pitches, just honest advice and answers from industry experts to the questions that you have about affiliate program marketing. Get ready to save the date in your diary as we bring you the biggest and best Amplify Summit yet. Taking place on the 19th and 20th of March 2024, we'll be giving you the inside scoop on how to amplify your affiliate program and partner performance. Plus, book an on-demand ticket for £49 and you'll gain exclusive access to masterclasses, personal group coaching sessions, and all-important Ask Me Anything sessions with real live industry experts who will show and tell you how to implement new tactics that drive consistent results. Get your ticket to join us at Amplify now. Visit affiversemedia.com and click the button marked Amplify Summit to register. Looking to launch an affiliate program for your business? Need help to grow your affiliate program? Don't worry, we can help. Book a free 15-minute strategy call with our Affiverse agency team to find out how we can help you grow your affiliate program. We offer a range of affiliate program management services, from strategy and consulting to technical setups and complex affiliate program migrations. Our award-winning agency team handles everything from affiliate strategy to affiliate partner discovery and recruitment. We'll also help you explore the competitive landscape and deep dive affiliate program audits to help leverage where you can grow faster than your competitors. But don't take our word for it. Take a look at what our clients say. Affiverse, we're helping the world do affiliate marketing better. Don't waste time struggling to get the right results. Visit affiversemedia.com and click on the agency button to kickstart your program growth today.
That's a wrap for this week's Affiliate Marketing Podcast. If you're loving what we're putting down, why not head over to Apple iTunes and give us a 5-star review? Make sure to subscribe to our podcast and our YouTube channel so you never miss another insightful episode or one of our free webinars ever again. Tune in next week for more digital affiliate marketing insights, trends, tips, and content to keep your affiliate and performance marketing fresh and your partners driving consistent sales.